What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another match preview. This week, Olympiacos against Arsenal, Europa League knockout action. I'm joined by my friend Lambros from Gate7 International, Olympiacos podcast. How are you doing, bro?
I'm doing really good. Excited for the game tomorrow. Really excited.
No, I appreciate you joining me, man. But listen, I'm only excited for the game if it works out better for us than it did last season. You was the one, smiling last season. And
Yeah.
to be fair, I remember I went to the home leg and I remember going to that game confident. We'd been to Greece. I think we won 1-0, Lacazette. And I was confident we were going to get through. And that for me was probably the worst game of the season, the home leg. Aubameyang missing that chance with 10 seconds to go. I just couldn't believe it. Like, what was that game like for you, first of all, last season?
Well, so as you said, that first leg was kind of crazy. Or the second leg was crazy because of the first leg. If we're being honest, Greece and Piraeus is our home, and it's a place we don't lose very often, to be honest with you. And when we lost 1-0, we had chances at the beginning, and we were pushing you back, but you guys held strong and showed a lot of character to not give up a goal in the first 15 minutes, and then to get a goal at the end. And going out of that game, we were so disappointed because we had this new manager in Arteta. Maybe we could do something, blah, blah, blah. And the following week, it was really just, okay, we're going to go there for the win, but, this is tough. Everyone kind of acknowledged we're going on the road. It's tough. Our fans are always going to go. Our fans love going to London. There's tons of Greeks in London, as you probably know. So we just showed up, and in the first 10 minutes, that's when it kind of struck us like, okay, we can do this, because there was just so much walking, misplaced passes, and just no energy in life. And our fans were really loud, and I think they pushed us on. And there was sort of a blood in the water in that second leg. If Arsenal had come out with a bit more intensity and scored a goal early, it was over. But there were so many misplaced passes by Xhaka. I think Ozil started that game, and he was just walking around. There was no real running. And we thought, okay, we can do this. And the reaction, it was a magical night. And as Olympiacos fans, we're used to our hearts being broken. I don't know, with you guys even as well. Giroud came to Greece and scored that hat-trick to send us out of the Champions League. That was a heartbreaker in of itself, because we could only lose by 3 goals or something at home, I remember.
Yeah.
And we went out that way. So I thought we were going to go out, especially when Aubameyang had the chance at the end. So it was just roller coaster of a game, crazy game, really.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, that's probably Aubameyang's worst moment. But I remember the game in 2015. Yeah, we had to come to Greece and win 3-0. Giroud hat-trick, one of Giroud's better nights in an Arsenal shirt, to be honest. Yeah. But obviously, Arsenal. What have you made of Arsenal? I don't know if you watch like Premier League football all the time, but what have you made of Mikel Arteta? Because I've questioned him a lot. I'm not sure. I felt like we should have gone for a big coach, like Allegri or Ancelotti or even Mourinho, someone like that. We've gone for the young coach. What have you made of Arsenal and Arteta?
Yeah, so it's actually interesting. So Greeks, we always have 2 teams. We have our team in Greece, which is, of course, Olympiacos. My family's through and through. That's my first team. But I fell in love with Arsenal, and Arsenal's actually my second team. So it's kind of crazy we're playing you guys again. And so I know a little bit more about Arsenal. I haven't been watching this season as much with all the COVID stuff. I actually was happy when Arteta got picked up, because when I loved Arsenal, when I fell in love with Arsenal, it was the attacking football, tiki-taka, Henry, Dennis Bergkamp, just great memories. And it seemed like he was going to be the guy to bring that back, coming from City with Pep Guardiola, but it hasn't really happened. He was playing with 3-5 at the back, I guess you could say. And then this 4-3-3, which hasn't been super attacking. And I don't know, I still think he's the man for the job, if that's fair. And I think this team is much better than last year's team. I think Gabriel is a fantastic player. Tierney has been fitter this year. I guess he still has fitness issues, but he's a top player. And Partey, of course, and Aubameyang, and now Smith. You got Ozil out the door, and now you have Smith Rowe and Saka and Martinelli. These are top players. Arsenal has a lot of talent, and it's weird to me because it just hasn't clicked yet. It seems like it's there, but it just hasn't clicked yet. So it's a bit surprising to see where they are on the table, given the talent. And I really thought Arteta was going to be the guy for the job. Maybe he isn't. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I suppose time will tell. I think the Arsenal fan base are quite split at the moment. A lot of people
Yeah.
feel he needs more time, and some are frustrated with him. How's your season going? I see you're top of the league. I was looking at the stats before we came on. I mean, you've only lost one game all season. I
Yeah.
mean, what a record. I mean, I saw that. I think you lost to Panathinaikos and you had a red card in that game. It could have been the
Yeah.
whole season unbeaten, invincibles like Arsenal.
Yeah, it's kind of like it used to always be like that. Olympiacos wins the league. It'd been like that for 10 years, but I would say 4 years ago we had a disaster season. We went through four managers, which is more on in character for Olympiacos. Our
Yeah.
managers go. The pressure is big. If you lose, you're gone. The pressure's there. It's hard to explain that to people from abroad, but the pressure at Olympiacos is so big because you either win or win really big, and if you don't play attractive football, you can get fired.
Yeah.
Jardim, the manager of Monaco, got fired at Olympiacos when he was undefeated because the football wasn't attractive enough. So just it's crazy mentality, and we have crazy media and things like that. Pedro Martins has come in. He got rid of 26 players 3 years ago. 26 players just sent out the door. And he brought in and he's made this team, and this has been his team for 3 years now. He's added pieces here and there. Some people have left. Of course, Kostas Tsimikas left for Liverpool, one of my favorite players. Hoping he starts to play more. But this is a really together group, and one of the more impressive Olympiacos teams I've seen. And it's close with last year's team. Last year's team was a magical team. A lot of people were saying, is this one of the best Olympiacos teams ever, with Tsimikas, with our defensive midfielder Guilherme, who unfortunately left as well. Matthew Valbuena was in top form. El Arabi in top form. So these are two of the best Olympiacos teams, and we have started to play really good football since January. And the reason behind that is because Jose Jolebas has hit the bench. He was playing every single game the first half of the season. 36 years old, former Watford player. So your fans may remember him. And Rafinha, I don't know if you remember him from Bayern Munich, the backup right back. He came from Brazil at 36 years old to play for Olympiacos. Let's just say it didn't work out so well, and the media and fans turned on him, and he's gone as well. So we have two new fullbacks, a young Porto Academy star, Oleg Reabchuk, who is a top player. You guys should look out for him on the left side. And Kenny Lala, who came from Strasbourg. He was highly rated in France. Actually surprising to us that he came to Greece and Olympiacos. And supposedly Jan and Villa and Matthew Valbuena were big into that transfer. But two very good fullbacks. And they've made us play much better, it has to be said.
It's funny because I was looking at the players who play for you. And for anyone who plays FIFA, that Lala is like he's a beast on FIFA. Right back, always gets the team of the season card. And I looked and I see he's at Olympiacos. I thought that's a great signing. Jan Villa is a player that we tried to buy.
Arsenal have been linked to forever. Forever, Jan and Villa, right?
What are these guys still like? Valbuena, of course, we know well, very small, technically gifted player. Are these guys still performing? Is Jan and Villa playing as well?
Yeah, Jan and Villa. There's discussions in Greece. Is he one of the best defensive midfielders we'd ever seen? Is he... There's discussion. Luka Milivojevic, who's now at Crystal Palace, I believe. He's still there. Yeah. He was so great for us. He was a captain. He was a leader. He was fantastic. He left for 13, 14 million euros 5 years ago, I want to say. And he was one of my favorite players ever. But Jan and Villa just, I don't know. There's something different about this guy. He has a long ball, a nice first touch. And he plays deeper than our Brazilian defensive midfielder, Guilherme, who left for the Middle East. But he is a top player. And the midfield three is really important to Olympiacos. You have Madi Camara, who Olympiacos currently rates at around 25 million euros. They turned down 20 million from Fiorentina in the summer. He's a top player. And I think I'd even read stories he'd been linked to Arsenal before Partey showed up. And he's very similar to that. He runs, he pushes the line. He's a top player. These are good players. This Olympiacos midfield, I think. There's times in the past where I'd say they're mid-table to end of the table, British English quality, if we can try to compare it at all. But this midfield and this overall Olympiacos is pretty good. Jan Villa is still very good. Valbuena, his set pieces are brilliant. He's really good. It's a question if he's going to start as well, because he could come off as a sub. We're not sure.
I wanted to ask you about Socrates, obviously former Arsenal player. You've signed him. I see he's played about 5 games. How's he done since he's gone over there? Is he a regular in your team, or is he more of a squad player?
So it's really interesting. Socrates came in kind of out of random, and the idea for Socrates was he was going to be our third choice center back. That's kind of crazy. We signed this guy, but we had Ruben Semedo, who's a fantastic defender, Portuguese international, has been playing for Portugal consistently, and another center back named Ousseynou Ba, who's been playing consistently, I believe, for Senegal, and they've been a fantastic partnership. And so Socrates is playing in the cups. He's been playing 60 minutes here, coming out, but disaster struck, and Ruben Semedo had to have a knee operation. He's out for 2 months, I believe, and he's out. So Socrates is kind of shoved into the fire, and he's an experienced defender, and the experience shows in Greece. Sometimes he can get in position and he can get a header, but physically, I don't know. And he has a shoulder knock as well that he's been grabbing at. Ba, I should say, also has a back injury. He came off at the weekend. So this is our biggest weak point right now because we don't really have a 100% fit central defender. Both Semedo's out, of course, who's a fantastic defender. Another player, he was linked to Liverpool with their defense injuries. And I guess they decided to go for the Turkish international from Germany. Yeah. And it's difficult. He has experience and he's a great leader on the pitch, but physically, is he going to be able to do it against Aubameyang and Saka, these brilliant young fast players? And we're going to see. I don't know. It's definitely going to be a question mark, I would say.
Yeah, do you know what? I heard quite a bit about that Semedo. He is very highly rated as well. I wasn't even aware that he was injured. So you've given me a little bit of hope there, although I don't want to get carried away because I had that hope last year as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, El Harabi up front is, we still have nightmares about that guy, man. Is he still playing, still banging goals in?
He is, and the first part of the season, fans were a little disappointed because he didn't perform so much in the first 2 games of the Champions League. Then he got coronavirus on international duty. Thank you, UEFA for sending players on international duty. And he got sick and he was out for quite a few Champions League games, and we really missed that. And El Arabi is probably the best striker we've had since Kostas Mitroglou, which your fans may have heard. He flopped at Fulham, but he's a fan favorite of ours. He was fantastic. El Arabi is just, in Greece, they call him the killer because he shoots the gun when he scores, but also because one chance, half chance, boom, it's in and it's good. And his hold-up play is good. He's a top player. He's not very fast, but he's very smart. His touches are beautiful, and he knows how to score. He's still got it. And our backup striker, Hassan, Gate7 international fans will know I don't rate very highly, but he's more of a target man. He comes in late in the game. He scored against PSV to send us through, so I can't say anything negative about him anymore. But he really, if your center backs aren't high up there in the air, he'll win a set piece, he'll win a header, and he'll score. So there's danger on both ends. El Arabi is more for most of the game, and then Hassan may come on for set pieces and to try and nick a goal at the end of the game.
I mean, for us, over here, this is kind of our whole season's riding on this, because as you've seen in the Premier League, we're mid-table. We're not getting Champions League or anything. So we have to try and win this whole competition, really, if you like. What when you look at Arsenal's team, who do you look at as the danger, and where do you look at as the weakness where you can maybe get the better of us in your eyes?
The danger has to start with Saka and Aubameyang. The connection is just fantastic, right? They're 2 fantastic players, and I would just add on Kieran Tierney as well. He's a beautiful cross of the ball. I think those 3 are really the danger men. And of course, Lacazette's a top striker, Thomas Partey. But the weakness is immediately the Greek press goes. The weakness is David Luiz, and personally, I rate Gabriel. I think he's a good player, so maybe not him. And then that right back position, Hector Bellerin has never. Here in Greece, he's never had a huge reputation as a top player. He's had that speed, but since that knee injury, people are just like, the speed's gone, and what else does he really give you, right? So they're definitely going to be targeting Luiz, I think, and the right back situation. Whether that be Cedric or Bellerin, or even I saw Callum Chambers played. I would be surprised if he played. But we have a fast winger named Bruma, also Portuguese international.
Yeah. Another FIFA legend, man. 99 pace.
He's fast, and but he's hot and cold. We're going to be honest. He's really hot and cold. He shows up, and you're like, this is a 15 million euro player, and then he disappears, and you're like, where is this guy Bruma? So they're going to be attacking, I think, that right back position. And again, Oleg Reabchuk, my co-host Adi calls him the Moldovan Lightning. I think he calls him. He's so quick and he's brilliant going forward. So I think that's where we're going to be going. And there's going to be an overload. So we play 4-3-3. But one of the wingers is usually an attacking midfielder like Valbuena or Greek international Kostas Fortounis. And they like to float around. So Fortounis or Valbuena will overload that side, interplay, and try to get a cross in from Mari Camara running into the box, something like that. That's how I see us really scoring, or off of set pieces. So I think they're really going to target that side because Quarantini is a top player. And then on the other side, Gabriel's I really rate as well. So we'll see how they approach it.
Valbuena is a good player as well. Obviously, I know he's getting older now, but still technically a very good player. In terms of this game, obviously your home leg, we actually played at your ground against Benfica actually the other week.
We were talking about how surreal it was to just watch these two random teams playing in our field because our national team doesn't play anymore there. They switched fields, and it's like, we have these international teams flying into Greece playing on our field, but our own national team doesn't play there. It was kind of a joke in the Greek community, but it was surreal.
But what's the general feeling about the first leg? Are people saying, look, this is the home leg for Olympiacos, you got to win this, or how are they viewing it?
Honestly, there's a bit of an air like, let's just go out there and see what happens, because we've gotten this round of 16. We have no fans as well. The fans are so big for us, we love being in the stadium and jumping up and down and making noise, and we have no fans when we reach the round of 16 of Europa League. That's pretty impressive and big for the club. And there's a bit of this air of like, our star center back's injured, our other two center backs are injured. Let's just roll out there and see what we can do. This is a huge club. Can we do it again? We'll see. There's no real expectations in Greece, which is weird. Usually, even when we play the biggest teams, it's like, you win in Greece. There's no fans in the stadium. There's just like, we have injuries, and everyone's just like, let's go do it, and we think we can do it. So it's just like, there's no real expectations, which is so weird. The fans will be disappointed if we lose, but there's kind of this idea like, we're banged up, we have no fans, but let's just give it our best and see what happens,
Yeah, I think with certain clubs, you look at them and think, they can do without the fans, or not that they can do without them, but it won't affect them too much. Even Arsenal, if you like. I think when we was at Highbury, the fans were vital. At the Emirates, the atmosphere it's not known for being great. Certain games it gets loud. But Olympiacos, your fans, the atmosphere inside that stadium really rocks. So I can imagine
the traveling fans as well is really big as well. Last time when we were in the Emirates, they were so loud. Arsenal does this weird thing for Europa League games. Sometimes they expand the away side.
They do.
I think that was one of the worst mistakes they made for our game. You had like 6,000 Olympiacos fans at that stadium. Honestly, it's a bit of a stretch to say that may have cost them, but that was a huge mistake. To be honest with you, that was a huge mistake.
Yeah, and I remember like at times you were louder than the 50-odd thousand Arsenal fans and it's funny you said that, because about that game when we played you last year, I remember turning up feeling quite relaxed, and I got that sense after 20-30 minutes that, this feels dangerous. Like, this doesn't feel like it feels like it's hanging on edge. So I think Arsenal fans, we kind of feel like we need to come to Greece and win, and not only win, we need to win by more than one goal, because last year, one goal, we thought we was through. We came back and we saw what happened. So I feel like there's almost more pressure on us because we've got nothing else apart from this. Last year we won the FA Cup. So I think we're under a lot of pressure to come there and win.
Yeah, no, for sure. And one of the nice things, we have this huge lead in the Greek Super League. We're through in the Cup. There's an idea we can focus and go all out for these games, but it's not our due. It's not the everything for Olympiacos, It's just seen as one of those weird years, and we're going to give our best. And people love this team. This Olympiacos team has got, everyone loves them. I kind of want to just like make that really clear, because this is really rare, There's not really that many players who play and people hate, and people are like, no, this guy's not good enough. Like, everyone has support for these players, and there's a togetherness, and the team is really going to be going for it, I think. And it has to be said, a lot of them are seeing this, the money signs are in the eyes of the club, the big transfers in the eyes of the players. Madi Kamara, 25 million euros. This is what the club rates him at, and I think he's going to be pushing for a move in the summer. And this is the perfect stage to prove it. Everyone's going to be watching, and when people put on the tape, they're going to see this game probably. So
yeah, I would agree. Have you won the league in Greece then, or do you go? Because I read somewhere that you go into like a little super league at the end of the season. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a bit ridiculous. So what happens is the league splits in two after everyone's played each other twice, and the top 6 teams, I believe, play each other an additional 2 times. The bottom 6 teams, or it's 7, I forget, 6, I think, play each other again twice, and that determines who gets relegated and who wins the championship. But we're so clear of the other teams in Greece right now, and it again has been a strange year with no fans. It's weird for some of these teams because in Greece the fans are so big, and it impacts the players, and you can see it on the fields, walking, things like that. Does not happen when fans are in the stadium. You get whistled, you get booed, and you start to run if you're not running. I don't know if that makes sense, but some of these teams like PAOK and AEK and Panathinaikos, they've been off this year, if I can say it. It's just they haven't been the same. They've really struggled to put results together, and I think that's a big crowd thing, to be honest with you.
That whole splitting the league up is mad, because you're like 15, 16 points clear of second. Yeah. You could then go into a mini league, and the team who finishes like 5th could win that.
It is interesting, and the reason they really do that is because the derby games are huge in Greece. So I don't know if you've seen some of the videos, the flares, the tifos, and the craziness. I think they really want to get those games shown more. They want, because those are the big ticket games. You get 60,000 people in national stadiums. You get huge like drama, things like that. So I think that's the reason they do it. But it's a bit strange, I would say.
Who's your biggest rivals then? Is it AEK Athens or is it Panathinaikos?
So historically it's Panathinaikos, but lately actually it's interesting. PAOK up in northern Greece have become a huge rival because they've become more competitive. They have some nice young players, and they talk a lot. And there's been some jabs thrown between like northern Greece versus southern Greece, blah blah blah. So PAOK is becoming more of a rival. But after Panathinaikos beat us 2 weeks, we were all reminded that Panathinaikos is our big rival, historic rival, and some Olympiacos fans are kind of missing out on them being a bigger club because they're going through some financial hard times, and they've struggled a bit. When Olympiacos and Panathinaikos are at their best, that's when Greek football is at their best. That's what we like to say, and it's better when they're at their best, for sure.
I remember Chuba Akpom, former Arsenal player. I think he played for.
He played for PAOK, and he played for their invincible side. They had an invincible side, and they won the double in the cup, and that was not last year, the year before, and they were a quite good team that year. And he was a decent striker, actually. PAOK was a game away from the Champions League, and they sold him to Middlesbrough, and fans were like, "Are you serious? You're selling our main striker right before this huge draw?" And they went out, and the fans were pissed, as you can expect. But he was a decent player. He missed a few chances. I remember he missed like a real sitter, and my God, like the fans get mad here in Greece, and they were almost like they were so upset with him because he missed like an open net against someone in Champions League qualifying, I think. And,
oh man, just looking ahead to the game then on Thursday. Give me a score prediction. What's your feeling?
So I would say we're split between the optimists and the pessimists in our community, and I would say I'm a bit on the pessimistic side because I know I've heard Arsenal didn't play good against Benfica. I heard about the result against Burnley at the weekend, but there's just something telling me that this revenge mentality is so strong, and I'm fearing it. But I just think we can hold on to it in Greece. I think we can either get a 1-1 or a 2-1 in Greece, but it's another story when we go to the Emirates. I think it's going to be really difficult to go through. And in Greek, we sing a song. For our Champions League song, essentially, is we have one crazy dream, and that's to take the European Championship, essentially. That's the translation. And we have a crazy dream. We're just going to dream. to take that, you know, and we're going to give it our all, and we're going to hope for the best. And I think that's the way most of us are looking at it going into the game.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, man. I'm going 2-1 Arsenal, which, you know, I've seen a lot of fans saying we need to win 2-0, 3-0, but I just don't. I don't think we can. I think you're a lot harder game than that, as we saw last year, and you're saying the team's even better.
I just want to reiterate to, like, people don't see much of the Greek league, don't see much of Olympiacos, and they may think Benfica is much better. Benfica lost to PAOK in Champions League qualifying, and they were not impressive. Greek fans were like, this Benfica team is terrible. Of course, the season has gone on a bit, but Olympiacos is a good team. I want to reiterate that. I don't want to be arrogant and say, like, our players are not worth as much as your players. You guys have a bigger budget. You have fantastic players, but we believe in our football. We believe in our team, and I think we have a decent chance. I think that's a fair way to put it. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy for Arsenal. I can promise you that. This team of Pedro Martins is a top team. It's a very good team. So it's going to be tough.
Who did you beat in the last round, just quickly?
We beat PSV Eindhoven in the last round.
Yeah, so they're no pushovers as well.
Yeah, they have some fantastic players. Their strikers are Javi, Daniel Malen. They have Dumfries, the captain on the Dutch national team. They were a good team. They gave us troubles, and they're typical Dutch, you know, it's just free flowing round after round, and that's something Olympiacos doesn't see a lot in Europe. We see more, I guess. People are more conservative. They're not so open throwing players out so aggressively. So it was an interesting tie. But, yeah.
No, listen, I look forward to the game, and appreciate you coming on. Tell the people about your channel, man. Why is it called Gate7intl? Promote it.
Yeah, so Gate7, as your fans may know, is where the ultras sit in Olympiacos, and that's right behind the goal. You may have seen all the tifos and the flares, and that is known as the most passionate area where us Olympiacos fans sit. And international, because we're trying to make Olympiacos an international club. You may see it in the social media is not big, the blah, blah, blah is not big, the Greek Super League is not big, but we believe this is a big club, and we want people around the world to follow Olympiacos. Like you probably have followers from all over the world, from Asia, Africa, the US. We kind of are envious of that, and we're trying to make this an international project. And again, reiterating that, there's 4 of us hosts. I'm in Geneva, Switzerland. One of us is in Brussels. The other is in the US near the Washington, D.C. area, and the other's in Canada. So we're an international project as well, and we're trying to spread Olympiacos abroad through English speaking and kind of sharing our love for the club with people who may be interested in it.
No, that's brilliant, man. Listen, I really appreciate you coming on. Very knowledgeable, know your team well. Maybe we'll do another show next week before the second leg. And but listen, I really appreciate you coming on, and
thanks for having me on. You know, we're a young project. We're more known in the Greek community, so it's been a great opportunity to come on and talk to you and just explain our story, explain our team, which we love so much, to you guys.
No, I appreciate it, and we'll talk after the game on Thursday. Thanks for your time, bro.
Thank you so much.